Welcome to the deep dive. We're jumping into the world of Sisterwise today.
Yeah, specifically looking at some recent events and how they're being interpreted based on an analysis from Without a Crystal Ball on YouTube.
Right, so our job is to kind of unpack that analysis for you, look at the key points being made about Kody and Robyn Brown.
Exactly. It's all about understanding the different narratives at play, especially after everything that's happened with the family.
Okay, let's get into it. The analysis starts off talking about Kody himself, right?
Mm-hmm.
Saying he felt they failed.
Uh-huh. He mentioned feeling they didn't really, deal with jealousy properly or build a solid group.
And he brought God into it.
Yeah, that was interesting. He felt they weren't including God enough in their very challenging lifestyle. That's his frame for the failure.
Okay. And then the YouTube channel's perspective comes in. Katie, the host there, she has a pretty strong counter-argument.
She really does. Her main point seems to be that Kody and Robyn are basically crafting a new story, one that kind of ignores a lot of the past problems.
Like pretending the other wives and kids just vanished.
That's the claim, yeah. Acting as if none of our other children exist, meaning the kids Kody shares with Janelle, Christine, and Maria, and that none of the other women exist.
Wow, okay. So, like an attempt to erase history.
That's certainly the implication drawn in the analysis, a kind of selective memory, focusing only on their current small family unit. Makes you think, doesn't it?
It does. Then things get incredibly heavy. The analysis covers Garrison Brown's passing in March 2024.
Yeah, such a tragedy. And the expectation, obviously, was that the show would have to address it somehow.
The analysis mentioned his last texts.
It did. Really sad stuff. Talking about missing the good days, even mentioning a specific memory, a paintball game from way back, gives you a glimpse into his mindset.
And then there's the controversy around Cody's actions immediately after.
Right. The analysis points out Kody allegedly wasn't at Garrison's home right away, and that Logan and Janelle handled a lot of things initially.
That's tough.
It is, and the analysis adds some context, suggesting that sometimes in these communities, polygamous or formerly polygamous ones, difficult events like this might get, well, handled very privately, maybe swept under the rug a bit due to beliefs or, shame.
Okay, so fast forward just a couple of months to May 2024. They filmed Aurora's baptism dinner.
Yep. And the analysis really zooms in on this scene. The main observation: no obvious signs of sadness, no acknowledgement of missing family.
Really, just 2 months later.
That's the point being made. Instead, the focus was apparently on Kody expressing love for Robyn, looking really happy.
So the interpretation is, what? An attempt to change the narrative?
Kind of, yeah. Like trying to rewrite history, maybe avoid dealing with all the destruction and pain from the family breaking apart. That's the analyst's take.
Okay, which then leads into this whole soulmates discussion between Kody and Robyn.
Ah, yes, the soulmate thing. That apparently got a lot of pushback, according to the analysis.
Because of the plural family history.
Exactly. The analysis says Robyn's used the term before, which makes it complicated. And apparently Kody also talked about wanting soulmate relationships with all the wives back in the day.
Oh, okay. So it wasn't just some innocent one-off comment from Robyn then.
Well, that's the argument. It contradicts how they're maybe framing it now. It's that classic reality TV thing, you know, what they say now versus what we saw before.
And Janelle and Christine weren't buying it.
Not according to this analysis, no. They seemed to dismantle this lie, as the YouTuber puts it. Janelle apparently pointed out Robyn grew up in polygamy. She should know better than to use language like that.
Right, because it sounds exclusive.
Precisely. And Christine chimed in that it just wouldn't go over well in that kind of religious family structure.
So the idea that Kody and Robyn tried to hide their special bond, the analysis says that wasn't really true.
Yeah, the point made is that their connection was pretty obvious all along, despite maybe saying they tried to downplay it.
So the bigger picture argument from the analysis is, this is all damage control.
That's the term used. Trying to make Kody look better, like a good dad, push back against all the negative stuff online and from the other wives.
And it connects back to Kody wanting the wives to reflect well on him.
Uh-huh. The analysis brings up that old idea that he wanted them to look good for Kody, tied to his own sense of worth, suggests that dynamic might still be there.
Interesting. And the editing of the show itself.
Oh, the analysis highlights that. Suggests the editors are subtly, contrasting Kody and Robyn's maybe delusional view with Janelle and Christine's more grounded takes. Like putting their perfect love talk right next to the others, saying, no.
Like a little reality check built in.
Kinda, yeah. Then the analysis shifts a bit, looking at Kody showing some vulnerability.
Vulnerability. After the divorces.
Yeah, like feeling his value to Robyn might have dropped because the other wives left. And then, this is a big one, questioning her motives.
Questioning Robyn's motives. How so?
The analysis claims Kody has actually alluded to the fact that Robyn was after his money.
Whoa. Seriously?
Apparently.
Mhm.
It references a 2023 podcast where he talked generally about women wanting a friend's husband if he's a good man. The interpretation is he now thinks Robyn wanted him partly because he had other wives and, the whole setup, the finances.
So he's in love, but also suspicious she might be a gold digger.
That's the conflict the analysis points to. Deeply in love, but also having these, major doubts about her original intentions, maybe feeling he threw his life away. It's pretty intense.
Okay, but what's Robyn's side of this, according to the analysis?
Well, her counter seems to be that Kody's problems, his moodiness and stuff, weren't because the other wives left, but because he was treating her badly. Acting like a butthole, as she apparently put it.
So she puts it back on his behavior towards her.
Right, and the analysis stresses that Kody seems to deflect again, blaming his lost confidence from the divorces instead of maybe owning up to his own poor behavior.
It sounds like a cycle of blame.
It does, which leads to these really stark contradictions the analysis picks up on.
Like what?
Like Kody apparently, behind the scenes, or maybe in other contexts, calling Robyn a controlling, gold-digging woman who'll make things hard for their kids' future partners.
Wait, while also publicly portraying this perfect love story with her.
Exactly. That's the jarring contrast being highlighted. It just doesn't seem to add up.
And he said something about their daughter's partners.
Yeah, something like he'd be easy to please, but Robyn would be the tough one, the one to put some handsome devils to the paces and challenge them.
And the analysis connects that back too.
To past claims that Robyn interfered in his relationships with the other kids. So the concern is she going to do the same thing with her own daughter's relationships? Is there a pattern of control?
Man, that's complicated. Okay, what else?
Well, just finally, this idea of the godly narrative, the criticism that Kody and Robyn are sort of using their current happiness or perceived happiness and their focus on faith.
To imply the others failed because they lacked faith.
Sort of, yeah, like a subtle judgment. We're okay because we're godly. Maybe you're not because you weren't. That kind of vibe.
And the overall summary from this analysis.
Pretty blunt. The marriage is described as a hot mess based on all these contradictions and alleged issues.
So it really paints a picture of competing stories, doesn't it? What we see versus what might be going on underneath.
Absolutely. The analysis strongly suggests the on-screen portrayal could be, well, heavily managed.
Okay, so let's recap. We've dug into this critical take on Sister Wives based on the without a crystal ball analysis. We've seen claims about rewriting history, damage control, Kody's internal conflicts, questions about motives, and these stark contradictions.
Yeah, it raises a lot of questions about reality TV itself, how these families navigate intense public scrutiny, and how, the same events can be spun in totally different ways.
So thinking about all this, what does it make you wonder about the line between reality and performance on these shows? And maybe what other questions pop into your head about what the people involved are truly experiencing?
Definitely makes you think. It's a complex situation, that's for sure.
Lots to mull over. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.